These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write that down.
All right, boys. Time for a Write That Down Wednesday here. The OG edition on Minnesota sports with Mackie and Judd, where, as we found out recently with one of the predictions from like 10 years ago on the board, we've got stats going back to 2018. We've got predictions going back sometimes 10 years. So it's always fun when we find a hidden gem. Nothing like from the old archives came off the board this week, but I was digging through this morning, and it's still hilarious to see some of the stuff that's still on the board from like Judd, you've got until the end of this year for Big Ten restaurant to reopen somewhere on the East Bank of U of M campus.
Major mistake.
We should open it,
not.
dude. What if we just like opened a sub shop?
How does Big Ten restaurant? I mean, Sally's, the old Sally's, they tore it down. What'd they do? They opened a new one.
McDonald's?
McDonald's? How is Big Ten restaurant an institution on that campus for how many? 50 years?
I don't know.
Subs, phenomenal.
Take the cash grab, take the money for the apartment complexes, and then move back. Nyes in Northeast,
The little ice cream shop attached to it, phenomenal.
Yeah. So I don't know, hopefully we can get that to happen. I think that's the oldest prediction that's still on the board here. But this is Write That Down, and here's how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We're the only show in America that actually puts statistics next to our predictions like a bunch of idiots to showcase just how wrong we are in the form of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, we have a couple guys. Josh and Jake are going to jump on here as guest listener predictors. You can send Declan a message through the SKOR North app. The Vinster is ready to rock and roll today, isn't he?
He went from the bed downstairs to check on mom. Now he's back up here. It's funny how he decides where he's going to be chilling, and now he's trying to make his cocoon in the pillows here. If you guys can,
Oh yeah, Maya loves to do that.
Yeah.
Spin around, find
That's
that
a staple.
Blankets, he's okay on blankets. He gets hot, but pillows, he needs the pillows. Needs it.
Stella loves
you
them
pick
both.
a spot.
Blankets and pillows. She loves the blankets.
There you go, buddy.
But every day now on our couch, I have to fold the blankets up. She does not like a mess, so they have to be folded up.
Oh, really?
So
Mom,
wait,
she only sits on them if they're folded?
No, she'll sit on them if they're not, but she will look at me before I start the podcasts to basically say, fold these up.
Fold my blankets.
And by the way, there's no please. I'm not
Boomer,
sure if you guys experience this, but there's no please. There's are you going to do this
There's
for
some
me?
side eye and a death stare.
Oh,
maybe.
God, so much side eye. She's basically a cat.
Yeah. So, all right, here's the accountability. We'll start with Judd. You had one thing come off the board. You said Kirill, the Thrill Kaprizov, would score at least 3 goals in the last week here. Well, he had 2 on, was it Friday night last week, I think?
Yeah, he did.
Or Thursday
And he got
or
hurt last night and missed a portion of the second period. And they went in the complete tank after that.
Yeah, so he only wound up with the 2.
Puck. Yeah, looked bad.
I had a bad week here. This is a terrible beat. Let's start with this one.
I was going to say, what was he?
Dude, this was... So I said Russell Westbrook will be at least minus 15 in his minutes against the Timberwolves in that Nuggets game. Mm-hmm. Well, he was a minus 22 in like 13 minutes. And then they made that run. What night was that, Judd? I was on my deathbed sick. Friday night? You were at the game, weren't you?
Judd loses track of the games he goes to, I think.
The Westbrook game? No, he's with Denver now, right? That's Friday.
Yes.
Night. I was at the game on Monday.
Yes, it was Friday.
Charlotte
Hornets. Against Denver.
Yeah,
so I'm literally like,
great game.
I'm rocking like a 102.5 fever, just ridiculous.
You're seeing things.
But I opened the box score because I remembered this Write That Down prediction. I was like, I feel like garbage. But Russell Westbrook is minus 22 right now in the third quarter, and old Macadac's going to get himself one. But then he was on the court when the Nuggets took that 10-point lead, and then I think they subbed him out. Can't remember the exact flow. But anyways, he wound up like a minus 10, a minus 12.
Yeah, so. Like 110 fever. You're like,
is Russell Westbrook a minus 20?
Leave him in.
I have one last question before I... Rest forever.
Finchy!
Did Russell Westbrook finish at least minus 15? He's terrible. Anthony Edwards will grab at least 10 rebounds in a game sometime in the last week. He was emphasizing we need to be better at rebounding. Well, he didn't. Mm-hmm. And then at some point I said, you know what? I think there's a chance that the Wolves ownership thing could just be over with before arbitration. It would transfer to A-Rod and Mark Lowry based on some whispers I was hearing. But they hit arbitration this week. Yep. We'll find out what happens. Is it still happening today? Like, are we day 3?
I don't think we know the schedule. I don't know that we know the schedule. My assumption is yes, but I don't know if it's every single day. I don't know if there's like a break in between. I'm sure they don't do it on weekends. That's a very good question.
After our conversation with Dukes, I still want to know what is the lunch situation? Like, are we actually after with if these arbitrators are being paid like $25K a day? Like, are we skimping? Are we giving in, and with all due respect to Jimmy John's, like, are we bringing in Jimmy John's, or are we still going to like Hell's Kitchen or like
Becky's been known to just cook for the group too.
Some potato salad
as a peace offering. Does she come in and say, "Listen, I know we're at each other's throats, but it's not spaghetti, Judd. It's lasagna."
Lasagna, whatever.
No, it's not a whatever.
No, those are two.
Becky's it's famous lasagna, dude.
It's still a home cooked meal that she would bring in a big pan.
Yeah, lasagna, dude. Put some respect on that lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. Not to be honest, not a big lasagna guy. It's filling. It's too much food. Give me spaghetti. If you're telling me which one I'd run all day, I'll take the spaghetti. If lasagna, I'm passing on.
Good lasagna. I will agree with you on an average piece of lasagna, but a good slice is delicious. I do love spaghetti, though.
So I agree on Declan's spaghetti over lasagna take, but I will say I'd rather eat cold lasagna than warm lasagna. Like second day lasagna.
Some people like this.
Pizza that's good. Yeah.
Okay, the listeners had two things come off the board. TJ Hawkinson catches a touchdown in his first game back with the Vikings. Who said that, by the way? I feel like I need to... Did I not put a name on this one?
Did I not put a name on it?
No,
I probably had the name on it. I forget other things in the spelling, but typically I'm really good at headlining the name.
TJ Hawkinson.
We'll figure it out.
That's what happens. No, no, we're gonna figure it out right now.
No.
TJ Hawkinson. I'm going through, man. I just totally forgot to put the name of the...
Someone in our YouTube comments or our feed. Our listeners are really good at that, especially when I might forget to spell something correctly. They're pretty good at leading back in and
jumping
saying,
in.
Dummy,
yeah.
You spelled this wrong or forgot this or this came off the board. Even sometimes they even self-report, which is very nice.
You know what? Actually, hold on a second. I believe that prediction. TJ Hawkinson scores a touchdown his first game back. That might have been one from one of us. I'll go back on that one. We do know that Will said Gopher Football would win at least 6 games and become bowl eligible. That's right. With 3 games to spare, by the way.
Playing well.
If they run the table, could they flirt? You saw the first batch come out last night, that bracket. How cool is that, by the way? You've got, you like Notre Dame versus whoever. You got Oregon.
Yeah.
Boise State sneaking in.
2-loss Bama is in.
Yep, 2-loss Bama.
At 11.
Oh, Phil, it was me.
Was it you?
It was me. Yeah, I had it last week. It was literally a week ago that I made the prediction.
So Declan was wrong on that one. And Declan was wrong on Yankees winning the World Series. And Nikhil Alexander-Walker having a 20-point game sometime in the last week.
A bit of a brick street right now with some predictions. Yeah.
So here's the current batting averages. I'm at 345 on the season. Listeners at 330. Declan 312. Judd 296. Listeners and Judd tie with 11 home runs. I have 10. Declan with 8. All-time stats, Declan leads with a 353 batting average. Judd leads with 345 hits. Listeners lead with 66 home runs. Stats dating back to 2018. Let's get Josh and Jake in the mix here on Write That Down. We got a full house. We got 5 of us here on Write That Down.
Scott Hansen.
What do they call 5? Does he ever do 5? The quinto
box.
The single box? The
They might.
quinta box? I don't know. Scott Hansen can learn something from Mackie and Judd right now, though. So let's start with Jake. Give us your background as a Minnesota sports fan, Jake.
Yeah, so I'm primarily a Vikings fan. I've been around since, my parents have been Vikings fans my whole life. I started paying attention, I think, in like the Adrian Peterson rookie year, like the 2007 Tavares Jackson kind of season. But then I really got on board, like a lot of people, with the 2009 season, specifically the Greg Lewis 49ers game. I specifically remember watching that game with my dad, and just like that was when I was on board. And then I had a similar thing to you, Phil, with the 1998 NFC Championship game about being 12 and crying that night, but with the Saints game instead. So
Okay, yeah. It's like a generation apart, but very similar feels.
The Greg Lewis game was a definite hook 'em game.
Yeah.
Like if you're a young fan, that pop right there, like when I was 10, Rashad caught the tip pass against Cleveland, on the Kramer pass. And I remember like the pop of that was just like, oh my God, I am addicted, right? The Favre Lewis pass was addicting. Like that's oh my God, this is just the greatest thing. So totally get that.
So, yeah. And then, Josh, we've had you on before. In fact, Josh, you're our underdog guy, right?
Yeah, that's me. I've had some success. Although I think they're onto my strategy. It's a lot harder this year with all the different multipliers and the way they've kind of changed up the betting strategy. I've not had as much success this year. I may have to retire.
Do you feel comfortable sharing any details about the biggest day or win you've had?
Sure, I could share that one. I mean, it was actually the NFC Championship game, I think 2022 season, and it was when Purdy got hurt, so you had McCaffrey in there. So like in the halftime bets, I was just like hammering unders on a bunch of different things, and I was just feeling good about it. So I threw a $200 down on like a 20x bet, so it was a 4K payout.
Wow, look at you, man. So that was the day. That was where the Niners wound up essentially not having a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Because was it Josh Johnson came in and then he got hurt or something?
McCaffrey was taking direct snaps too, so it was brutal.
That was wild, man. So all right, we got Josh and Jake here. So we'll start with Jake, Josh, over to Judd, Dex, and then back to me. One prediction each. We'll make 3 trips around the room here, boys. All right, let's do this.
Write this down.
Jake, lead us off.
Yeah, sure thing. So my first prediction, I'm going to be a Packers hater. I'm wearing my Randy Moss mooning Lambeau Field crew neck sweater right now. So
you know what? I'm going to get you keep going. I'm just going to get
okay. So write this down. Jordan Love will finish the 2024 season with lower average quarterback rating, lower completion percentage, lower touchdown percentage, and a higher interception percentage than Sam Darnold. I'm doing the percentages to mitigate like an injury situation or something like that.
Yep, absolutely. And if he continues to play hurt, because he played hurt. I would have taken him out of that game on Sunday. I mean, it's raining, the field's a mess, and he's playing. Where'd that come from, Mackie?
So yeah, we have Tony Verichak, a loyal listener, sent in some amazing patches, including the Randy Moss mooning patch. And then producer AJ went and got these stitched onto some hats for a few of us at SKOR North. And Judd, I think we have an extra one if you want the Randy Moss mooning hat here. But since Jake has the shirt, I figured I'd give you the hat here.
Never seen a hat before. It's very interesting.
Judd, show me your tattoo of Randy Moss.
Yeah.
What do you have, Josh?
I have it framed in my basement.
So you should. You're at work right now. It looks like.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in my office right now.
Okay, go get
that
it.
was a disgusting act. I don't know why you would frame.
You know what though? To Joe Buck's credit, he came on Purple Daily like a year ago. Mm-hmm. Unprompted, brought it up and said, if I could have one moment back, it would be that one mulligan in my career. He goes, I overreacted. It wasn't me. I hate the way that I sounded, and he endeared himself to Vikings fans.
Jake, you said QBR, completion percentage, touchdown percentage, INT percentage, correct?
Yep, exactly.
Got it. cool.
I didn't know if
this
that would be
down.
a touchdown or not.
Oh,
He
it's a
is
touchdown.
okay because
Oh,
he is
yeah.
currently like ahead/behind in all those categories.
Yeah.
So
It four item parlay like that. Yeah, you're safe. You're good.
Write this
All right,
down.
over to Josh for your first prediction.
All right, so this is now my 5th appearance on Write That Down between all the different shows. I know we've talked about the OG fans of like who's been on Write That Down, who's been on Ventline, all these different things. And I've also followed Judd all the way back to the Judd and Fun days. So I've been following you guys a long time.
Wow.
It's time
And
for
I'm
Judd and fun.
Stop,
They're talking sports because they know it's
Stop.
fun.
A ton. No,
A ton.
No, yeah, just stop.
It was great. So personally, though, I'm 5 for 13 with 1 touchdown. I have no home runs, so I'm kind of going for some home runs today. I might have one that's just a base hit, but a couple of these, you let me know if I need to add anything. And I am a big Twins fan, but they don't deserve any love today. So we're going to focus on the Vikings. And so, again, let me know if I need to add anything to this. Just over the next 4 games, I'm saying the Vikings will go exactly 3-1. So is that accurate enough, or do I need to add to that?
If they go exactly 3-1,
Yes.
I think that's
Because
I think we'll count that. It's like a, you're not saying in any particular order, but I think if they go exactly 3-1,
Yeah.
we're gonna anecdotally we will count that.
Agree.
All right. I can answer it if you need to.
Write
but-
this down.
I mean,
You guys, you're
if
giving
you
me
want
that.
to, go right ahead.
No, we'll take the Rose Garden home run. So
I think let's give it to you. We'll give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely borderline kind of a front row situation. But
I will say it's the 1 touchdown I have. It was a very similar prediction. So I'm like, well, this was a touchdown, so this has got to be a home run.
yeah,
Look at
that's
you.
fair.
Look at you.
All right, Judd, over to you for your first prediction.
All right. You know what? Things are going so well with PJ Fleck's Row the Boat Gopher football team. The Gophers will beat Rutgers on Saturday and be ranked in the Associated Press Top 25 this coming week.
Wow.
So they
Wow,
play
dude.
Saturday, the rankings, and by the way, I'm not saying CFP, okay, just to be clear, but they will be ranked in the Associated Press rankings that come out Sunday.
So if it's the coach's poll, this doesn't count.
Well, can I have both? I mean,
You can have both. I kind of just saved your ass.
not
going to
be a home
I
run.
feel like.
I was thinking about that, but I mean, I just wanted to make it very clear that the CFP ain't happening. Probably. You know what? Yeah. Thanks, Declan. Yes.
Okay.
Associated Press or coach's
Okay.
poll. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Because
Because regardless, it's not a home run. So
because I had a very similar prediction.
Write
I just
this
had
down.
write this down. The Gopher football team will be ranked by the end of the season. So I'm also drinking some Gopher Kool-Aid. Sky, row the boat, go Gophers, go Huskies.
Yep. It is Rutgers championship week, and for you to think about the rest of the season now is not how we roll, Declan. We
Well, I'm
only
giving
think about.
myself-
Dude, did you hear PJ's end of game interview
Yes.
after the Illinois?
You haven't been around us very much.
Yeah, the guy, this young reporter, whatever. Was it Big Ten Network?
Coach,
It was
talk
Big
about
Ten
what
Network.
this talk about
What does
what you
victory
can do
mean?
now.
He goes, oh, you haven't been around us very much, but it just means that we're 1-0. We're 1-0 in Illinois championship week, and we're looking to go 1-0.
It was
Super condescending, but
yeah.
okay. You know what? I'll drink some Gopher Kool-Aid here too.
Write this down.
How far do I want to go? How far do I want to take this? I could also use some more home runs here.
College football
So-
playoff.
I'm going to look ahead past Rutgers championship week. I think in what is it? It'd be in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I think they beat Penn State at home, currently the 6th ranked team in the country. And I'm trying to decide if I just say they're going to beat Penn State at home. I mean, that's they're not going to be favored, obviously. But I kind of want to go a step further
Oh.
and tell you that they're going to run the table the rest of the regular season and finish 3-0.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to do that instead.
Okay. You do that.
The
You do that.
Gophers-
No one's going to stop you on this show from doing exactly that.
The Gophers are going to finish. I literally can't stop this right now. There it is. They're going to beat Rutgers, Penn State, and Wisconsin to finish the regular season.
So Dex and I took a shot, a Gopher shot. Phil comes to the tailgate and takes the jug and just downs it.
Yeah, it's a WAP. It's now a WAP
It's
tailgate.
a
Right.
whop it too.
Row the boat, Sky Yamago Gophers. Okay, Jake,
Everclear.
you're up.
Write this down.
yeah, so I was originally considering making a Timberwolves prediction because I have in the last couple of years finally been starting to get into them a little bit more, but I don't quite feel like I have the knowledge base yet. So I am going to make one more football prediction, which is that the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions will all make the playoffs, but none of them will play in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Ooh.
Off the record, who do you think plays in the Super Bowl?
That's a good question. I actually don't really have a good answer for that, because I was thinking about this last night and I was like, well, if those three don't play in the Super Bowl, like I don't really like an NFC team that much better than any of them. So probably something stupid like the Eagles or like the 49ers kind of start picking it up in the second half of the season now that Christian McCaffrey's back.
I can't wait for the Eagles implosion. Like whenever it happens, it's going to happen again. And I can't decide if it's going to happen with like 4 straight losses in December or if it's going to be Nick Sirianni melting down in like the divisional round. But
Well, maybe
it's
the
going to be hilarious. Commanders are... It's hard to shake like 30 years of what we think of that franchise, but it's new ownership, new front office, new coach, quarterback.
If the Lions stay healthy enough, so like let's say they don't lose Goff, they don't lose either of those 2 really good backs, and they don't make the Super Bowl, it's gonna be a massive letdown. Massive letdown. Like they are geared up. This is a team that's geared up. So
Yes,
that'd be
they got some
very
juice.
Interesting. And then Ben Johnson bolts.
Yeah. Okay, Josh, over to you.
All right, so this is just kind of my base hit here just because I'm going to be at this game. So I'm going to the Arizona Cardinals game on December 1st. So I just want to predict a win. So Vikings win against Arizona. Keep it simple. I got to keep my batting average high, you know. And if you're wondering about how I'm 4 or 5 for 13, I had a bonus World Series prediction on one.
Oh, how the math? Yeah, the math doesn't quite.
Instead of thanking people, I threw in a bonus prediction.
That's fair. Yeah.
Dex and I gave it 0 thought because I gave 0 thought to math. So I was like, yeah, 5 for 13 sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Sounds good.
He's like, I'm 6 for 19 and a half, and
that sounds good.
great.
That sounds good.
Average is 385.
Judd.
So to stay on the Gopher thread, Perich, their outstanding freshman safety, did not have a great game on Saturday, but I mean, he is a phenomenal player. They're playing Rutgers. Write this down. Coy will have at least 1 interception on Saturday.
All right.
Missed a tackle, didn't wrap up a guy, just had an okay game. I think he misjudged a punt. That's not him. He's going to come back and get a pick.
Okay.
And Calicomanis is their quarterback at Rutgers, right?
Yeah. Wow. Is he still?
Yeah, he's still their quarterback.
So a little revenge game angle here this weekend.
And OC is Kirk Soraka, who was with PJ, left for Penn State, got fired by Penn State, came back to PJ, and now is at Rutgers.
Just revenge angles all over the place. Okay, Declan.
All right, write this down. He has scored at least 35 in 1 game, but I'm just looking for a nice hit. Anthony Edwards scores at least 35 points in a game by next week's. Write that down. I need a hit here. He's averaging like 28. So like it is above his season average, and he's just, my God, killing it at 3-point attempts. So I feel like this is actually, it's not. I don't think this is a home run unless you guys object and believe it is, because he's very close to his average. So looking for a knock, but also not looking for a complete bunt. Just a nice little Mauer shot up the middle. So Ant scores at least 35 by next week's. Write that down.
Okay.
Write this down.
All right. So I'm gonna make a Dante DiVincenzo prediction. He has. He started to knock down some threes here. Okay, it was dicey early. He was 2 for 8 in the first game against the Lakers, then 1 for 6, and then he was like 5 for 16 over the next couple games. But now they're starting to drop a little bit. His minutes are ticking back up here, closer to 30 minutes a game. So I'm going to say this. Write this down. Dante DiVincenzo, the most threes he's made in a game so far this year is 4. You tell me if this is a home run. Dante DiVincenzo will make at least 5 threes in a game between now and next week's. Write that down. He'll make at least 5 in a singular game.
What he's got? Isn't it 4 games? I think between.
Let me see how many times he did that last year. He played a lot more minutes with the Knicks.
That does not sound like a home run to me.
I personally think you have too many cracks at it. But
because they play 4 games.
So they play tomorrow, they play Friday, they play Sunday, they play Tuesday. So yeah, they play 4 games.
Okay. 7.
Is that
7.
I like it.
Does that make it a home run?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does. That does.
He'll hit at least 7 threes in a game at some point in the next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's crank it up.
Write this down.
All right, back to Jake for your third and final prediction.
All right, so I don't follow this too closely, but I have a lot of friends that do, so I want to just toss out a quick Minnesota United Loons prediction because they just beat the Real Salt Lake in the first round of the playoffs, and now they're playing LA Galaxy in the conference semifinals. So write this down. The Loons, Minnesota United, will beat LA Galaxy and advance to the MLS Western Conference Finals.
Wow, look at that. And Judd's going to be there on the
You
scene.
know what? No, did you guys see there's some type of international tournament that's going to go on now, and so there's going to be a big break between that playoff series and their next one?
When is MLS Cup this year? Because usually it's like the second or third week in November, right?
There was a story in the Star Tribune on Saturday that they are thinking about moving the entire season to winter.
Oh, like because that's
season.
what EPL does.
Correct. So you.
But how would
avoid
that work if you are Minnesota
or Montreal? Not well.
Or New York or Seattle even?
I know.
Our nice outdoor stadium.
Wow. So yeah, MLS Cup is on December 7th. So that's the funny thing. Like you've got these games being played. Well, we've had some epic snowstorm games for Minnesota United in the past. So
One guy in a international, that was an international friendly, right? That went to the hospital. Some guy. Was it
frostbite.
Ghana? Yeah.
Two guys went to the hospital with frostbite because they played a game here in February because Team USA wanted to have the home field advantage.
It's amazing, man. So, Jake, great work with your predictions here. Since you have this life-changing platform, is there anyone you'd like to thank besides mooning Randy Moss that helped you get to this pinnacle moment?
Besides mooning Randy Moss, I'll keep it pretty simple. Shout out to my dad and brother, big Vikings fans with me. So we have a little group chat going where we're always just venting to each other. Shout out to my fiance as well. I've kind of converted her a little bit over the last couple of years, and now I'd say she's a pretty big fan as well. So I got another sufferer on the train. So
nice work.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, great work.
Write this down.
And we'll definitely get you on again sometime. All right, Jake?
yeah, sounds great. Thank you very much.
All right, there he is, guest listener predictor, Jake. All right, Josh, what is your third and final prediction?
All right. Again, let me know if I need to add to this. We're going to pivot to the Wild. Pretty much just wanted to make a cup prediction that the Wild will hoist the cup at some point before the end of the 26-27 season.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I got to imagine it's a home run.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So who does Spurgeon, assuming he's still playing, who does Spurgeon hand the cup to first?
Oh, to Kirill, of course.
And then Kirill goes.
Assuming he's still here. Is when is the end of his contract again? Is it 26?
He's got a year left after, so he can sign an extension on July 1st, but he's got another year left after that. So it's after next season.
All right, so we'll assume he's still here, and yeah, he'll hand it right over to Kirill because he'll probably be your MVP.
And then Kirill hands it to the sports dad for being the straw
they'll
that
bring
stirs the drink
back.
in this town.
They'll bring Koivu back and hand it to him because longevity is somehow this great thing that deserves your jersey.
And then
they'll bring a random fan out wearing the number 1 and hand it to him.
Yeah.
You can see that. That's what they should do.
Some fat guy will fall over on the ice, the cup will break, and that'll be it.
Oh, man. Well, Josh, great work again here. You're racking up. You're much like the Jacket Wearers Club on Saturday Night Live. You're like the Steve Martin or the John Mulaney who just made his 5th appearance. So since you've got this platform again, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get back to this peak moment?
Well, so over the years, I've added a wife and added 2 kids. So I will just thank the 2 boys now. They really weren't in existence, when I first started this journey with you guys. So they're around now, and I'm going to play this later and say, JT, Chase, thanks to you guys for some of the patience you have with me. I know you want to watch cartoons, but Sundays are for football, so we got to fight over it. And, they let me do my thing. So I really appreciate that, boys. And sorry that I may have, cursed you into Minnesota sports fandom. My oldest just started football this year too, so he's pretty excited about that. I'm trying to get him into it, so it's been a fun ride though.
Love it, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And guess what? You know what? Cartoons, they will thank you someday for exposing them to a world of pregame shows and then Red Zone or the Vikings starting at noon on Sundays.
There we go. Love it.
All right, Josh, great stuff. We'll look forward to your next appearance and more predictions, sir.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guest listener predictor Josh. Before we make our final predictions, a couple things we're giving away right now on the SKOR North app. So we're giving away a 75-inch Roku Pro Series 4K TV that automatically adjusts color and sharpness for your shows. You just open the SKOR North app. It's free. You go to the listener rewards section, and you can register to win that thing. We are also giving away Minnesota-Atlanta football tickets. Minnesota versus Atlanta. Sunday, December 8th. We're giving away 3 pairs of tickets in Section 216. You can enter daily on the SKOR North app between now and Friday, November 15th to increase your chances of winning, and then we'll pick some winners the following week there. Again, SKOR North app, listener rewards, open it up, and you can potentially win Minnesota versus Atlanta football tickets for December 8th. All right, Judd.
Write this down.
What's your third and final prediction?
All right, Timberwolves prediction, pretty simple here. Chris Finch talked about after the Monday game that they're still trying to, or he is still trying to identify the 9th guy in his rotation, but I think it's becoming clear who that's going to be. Ingles has been a DNP CD, I think, for at least 2 consecutive games. So write this down. In the Wolves 4 games, I believe we said between now and next week's, write that down. Josh Minot will average 7 or more minutes in each game.
Oh,
In each game.
Or no, I'm sorry. Cumulatively, he will average that. So, like, if you do the math on the 4 games,
so if he plays 28 minutes in 4 games or more,
yeah,
math,
yes.
28 divided by 4, 7, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Then,
so he could play if he plays.
So
he could play 28 minutes in 1 game, and then sit the next 3, and
Correct.
you still win the
Correct.
math battle, right?
I do, but I'm banking on the fact that I think
You think it's more of like a 6, 8,
exactly
7,
I think,
8 kind of a thing?
And I think the Ingles thing, and I mean, he has now become, at least he was against Charlotte on Monday, the guy waving the towel on the bench guy.
First guy out with the high fives during the timeout.
Which is
hit.
cool.
Great,
That's fine. But I think that we are seeing a transition to Minot is probably the first guy up now.
Yeah, and he kind of looks the part, but he's got to hit those open corner threes. You know, when they put him in, a couple games ago, and it was a San Antonio game. I think it was San Antonio, and he was wide open for 2 corner threes. Like, they're going to let you shoot that because they don't think you can make it. But he made it in the preseason, made it all summer.
And the end of this Charlotte game when they were up by like 28 or something, and they all played, it was sort of a hot mess because it's like it's all basically scrubs or all backups. And so, but I think Minot's going to be in with traditional backups or starters at times, and so I think that he is the guy.
Write this down.
All right, write this down. I'll make a Twins prediction. I know payroll they're basically like just shifting all these chairs to try to add to this roster, maybe even making trades here and there. And I have a free agent list, too, that we can get into. Regardless of how much money they claim they're going to add or not add, I still think it's worth discussing. But write this down. The Twins will be connected or have reported interest in Alex Verdugo. He's a free agent this year. The Twins will have interest in Alex Verdugo.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not doubting your senses here, but that feels like a classic kind of Twins. Like, he's basically Max Kepler.
Literally in my notes, it is Max Kepler, but in left field. He is a plus defender.
Can hit a little bit.
Do we expect them, like the whole thing that has come out from the GM meetings in San Antonio has not surprised me, because we talked about this. If they're going to keep the payroll the same, it's basically filled. Like, nothing about these reports surprises me. I'm not disappointed because I expected it. Do I think that they'll make some trades? Yes. Do I think that if they keep the payroll the same, they don't have room to add. Like, people have to go. It's not like, oh man, we got this. I mean, between Lopez and Correa, if I'm not mistaken, that basically covers the raises.
It does.
So it's unfortunate. And if they're trying to sell, which they clearly are, they ain't going to jack up the payroll and say, we're giving you a better team, because the bottom line is all that the person who buys the team is going to care about.
Correct. Yeah, there is, unless they just want to pleasantly surprise fans that they are bailing on by selling the team, which I don't like. The time to pleasantly surprise fans would have been a year ago.
Correct.
Listen, guys, we're going to take a loss here. Glenn Taylor is pleasantly surprising fans by saying, I'm going to take like a $70 to $100 million loss on this year's bottom line. In addition to the luxury tax, by the way, Glenn Taylor decided, I'm going to put $10 million in renovations into a new private club for season ticket holders. And remember last year, I came on Flagrant Howls and whatever other shows, and I was ripping Glenn for allowing that disgusting hallway bathroom to just paint coming off the walls. It's like the main bathroom that the VIPs use around that corner for years was just deteriorating. Dude, they renovated that bathroom for this season. Have you been in there yet? Peek your head in there next time you go to a game.
I think I've been in there. I really didn't look around enough, though.
Dude, you'd know. Like the bathroom in the hallway next to the curtain.
I know
where it's all it's a different color. They've replaced everything in there. So my point is, Glenn Taylor deserves credit for spoiling fans. The poll ads, zero chance that happens.
Do we think Glenn does all of these things if he didn't agree to sell initially, and then the team sort of took off, and then he decided that he didn't want to sell? Like if Glenn never announces, he just does not try to sell the team, A-Rod and Lori don't exist as far as the Wolves are concerned, is this a totally different story? Because then you don't get Conley, probably.
I think there's been some pressure. Yeah, there's been some pressure hey, these guys came in, they're getting a lot of credit for some things.
Right.
Why don't you make your impression? Totally. Okay, I have a random NFL prediction to wrap here.
Write this down.
I think the team that nobody is talking about in the AFC right now is the Chargers, the 5-3 Chargers, who've got one of the best coaches in the NFL. They've got one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they have one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. They don't have the greatest weapons, but it's a Jim Harbaugh culture thing. Write this down. The Chargers, who are currently the 6th seed in the AFC playoffs, and I think, or would they be? So the Chiefs are leading that division, so they're not going to win the division. But write this down. The Chargers will win at least a playoff game. The Chargers are going to go on the road and upset somebody. Sure. So right now, they would play the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo.
So you're saying they're going to go and beat
But
the
I
Bills?
think they could. What I think is going to happen is I think they're going to jump to the 5 seed. They could, and they might get a banged up Texans team or something with a second-year quarterback. So I'm just saying, Chargers win at least a playoff game. Random NFL prediction.
Write this down.
All right, and there it is. Those are the OG predictions here, the OG version of Write That Down, Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on this podcast for a little Reckless Speculation Thursday, scoop session with our guy Dukes.